It is Rey Skywalker's Sunday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. This evening, let us play with the latest iteration of All Good One's Easy Meditation. As junior high kids, our gym coach used to teach us to first warm up before exercise and then to properly cool down before we hit the showers. We're going to follow a similar outline. We're going to begin with the view of reality that supports letting go, which is the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, also known as Mahayoga's Wisdom Warm-Up. Let us chant an explanation of the 12-syllable mantra. Together. I invoke teachers from loving action of mindfulness and meditation, as well as the Hungry supporting release that the Benza tantric. Guru teaches Pema enlightenment and Siddhi abilities who may be mastered by all. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with the follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these wise words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors for statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. To keep track of this evening's first of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could gently touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left index finger, and then rest this left hand upon our left thigh. May we see how all circumstances are lots appearing, yet void as a paradise of light could be as... Let's try this again. May we see how all circumstances are lots as appearing, yet void as a paradise of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could blithely absorb into this body or form. This word may is not an inference of supplication. Rather, we are using words to guide our own intention. Just as the Odin of lore made an offering of himself to himself, we are using words to guide our own intention, or perhaps strengthen our own intention. We're going to take all these words and we are going to allow them to coalesce into 6 syllables, though we're going to divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. During our inhalation, we silently and mentally recite all these 6 syllables we just played with. During our exhalation, we physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. When doing so, we count 1 breath per finger and 1 repetition of the mantra per set of creases. Om Mahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung Om Mahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung Om Mahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. Om Ahum Benzu 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 Guru Me Maziri Hung. Let's chant. Oopsie, before we do. To keep track of our second of 9 collections upon our right hands. Oopsie. 12 mantra repetition. Let's try this again. Our second of 9 collections of our right hands, 12 mantra repetitions. Let us touch the tip of our left thumb to our left middle finger, and then rest this left hand upon our left thigh. May we feel how all bodies are from sensual, yet what is a Buddha's archetype of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. Now, I'm thinking this might be easier to chant if I make a change here. Do bear with me. Whoops, wrong button. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're going to adjust this. And we're going to adjust this. Now I get to make sure it fits on the screen. Okay. Well, that's not working. So let's go over here, slip it all the way over here, and slip it this way, and see if that helps. All right, almost, almost. Excellent. May we feel how all bodies are from sensual yet void, as a Buddha's archetype of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. We now take all these words and allow them to coalesce into just 6 syllables that we divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. During our inhalation, we recite all these 6 syllables. During our exhalation, we physically relax as best we can, while striving to chant this, 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. Om Ahum Benzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 So we're not trying to think our way to nirvana. We're simply using figurative language to play with ideas that we are already aware of, the ideas of impermanence and interdependence and non-graspability, to sort of limber up our mind. Om Ahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 I'm going to use this opportunity to enact what I hope will be a quick edit. So I'm going to hit the insert button. Let's make sure this fits on the page nicely. Almost. And thank you for your patience. Almost done with the artistic edit to maximize the beauty of the graphic design. And yes, somewhere a real artist is grabbing their pearls, clutching their pearls, falling out of their seat, dead. We're now going, in an effort to keep track of our third of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could touch the tip of our left thumb to our left ring finger, and then rest this left hand upon our left thigh. One moment. Quick edit. That works better. Now let's slide this image up a trifle. See if this, oopsie. Close enough for government work. Together. May we hear how all interpersonal speech resounding and void, as a mantra of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this mind. Now, we're going to take all these words and allow them to coalesce into just 6 syllables that we're going to divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. Again, we take all these 6 syllables, recite them during our inhalation silently and mentally. During our exhalation, we physically relax as best we can as we strive to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. Om Ahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. Om Ahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. Om Ahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. We now keep track of this, our 4th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions. We do so by touching the tip of our left thumb to our left little finger, and then resting this left hand upon our left thigh. Please, oopsie, quick edit. I am looking for the insert button and the symbol button and the accented A. All right, so here we go. Wow. Okay, that was weird. Let's see if this fits. Okay, the letters fit. Let's get the image to fit. A little bit more. And here we go. May we fill all minds lucid yet void, as a seed hung of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into our vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, could be not graspable to the hand. Now, I appear to have some sort of a challenge with the image. Let's try that again. Okay. Om Ahum Zuguru Me Maziri Hung 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 Om Ahum Zuguru Me Maziri Hung. We will turn to the 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path to train in Ati Yoga's mindfulness and meditation after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. So we turn now to the first phase of mindful crease counting. The luxury car of mindfulness and meditation traverses the smooth road of Anu Yoga's energy work. There are many forms of energy work. I feel the most efficient is mudra, or finger gesture oriented, which sounds delightfully salacious, does it not? So we're going to, in order to gather our first of 4 collections. Of our left hands, 8 sets. Of our right hands, 8 repetitions. We're going to act as follows. Back in junior high, I was told to do 3 sets of 10 reps when bodybuilding. We're going to play with a similar idea. Instead of 10 repetitions, we're going to play with 8 repetitions. Consider your right hand. Over the span of 8 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We now multiply that by an additional 8 to give us 64, advancing our left thumb with every accumulation of our right hand's 8 repetitions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 8. Now we talked about collecting 4 or gathering 4 collections of 64. How do we do that? We begin by gathering our first collection. We keep track of that collection by resting the great knuckle at the base of the right little finger upon the tip of the left little finger, and then resting both these hands palms up in our lap. Now, is this a trifle complex? Yeah, but repetition is the mother of skill. Come to these live streams once every 12 hours, and within a week or 2, you could master this entire cycle of teachings. I'm going to now return to the task at hand to remind you that by working with our little knuckle, we are gently inviting our subtle energies to coalesce at the bladder region of our lower abdomen. Now that we know what to do with our fingers, let's figure out what to do with our mind. What if enlightenment was nothing mystical? What if it was simply the mastery of the Eightfold Path? But what is mastery? As children, we had to be taught how to use the toilet, how to brush our teeth, how to tie our shoes, how to ride our bike. And it was difficult, and it was frustrating, and there were tears. But eventually we got good at each of those, so good at each of those things that we could perform them spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. We can do the same thing with the Eightfold Path. The key to doing this as easily as possible is our mastery of the 7th folds, the 7th folds mindfulness and the 8th folds meditation. Please chant with me. The nudity of the octypical couple sporting and tantric union reminds us of the vulnerability so crucial to mindfulness. Let us explore the neuroscience of mindfulness and meditation. I feel that doing so dispels a lot of unnecessary confusion and superstition. Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks, but no, not in the fun, tingly way. What could that suckiness look like? What could look like us being so conditioned by late-stage capitalism that we not only think that being rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel is good, but we also feel that it's opposite. Being flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, kind is somehow naive or perhaps even destructive. But when people who are prisoners of their own rigid and controlling tendencies instruct their meditation students to actively focus or actively analyze the only parts of the brain that are capable of such behaviors, are the discrete neural pathways found in such regions as the medial prefrontal cortex and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Please forgive the primitive nature of these diagrams. When we overuse our prefrontal cortex, we trigger our almond-shaped amygdala, which functions as the seat of anxiety and aggression. How darkly ironic is it that in the name of enhancing our peace and our love, we set out on a course of action that drags us kicking and screaming further from that goal? Fortunately, neither the prefrontal cortex nor the amygdala are the only components of our central nervous system. Remember, we're starting with mindfulness, and every time that we inhale, whether we know it or not, we are accessing our sympathetic nervous system. Ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord, this bad boy has evolved to help us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which, as you can tell, is the opposite of concentration. But what is it that we have evolved to notice? We have evolved to notice mind's antics of perception. You know, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like. You know, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. But so this kind of seems complex. Is there an easy way to do that? Yes, there is. Silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, and you will find that the cerebral cortex stops opposing our sympathetic nervous system and instead begins to cooperate with it. But what are we to do with all these things that we noticed? That can be a trifle overwhelming, couldn't it? Enter meditation. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we are wired to automatically access the parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the lower third and the upper third of that same spinal cord. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release, helping us to such a degree where that which we perceived during our previous inhalation could feel fleetingly less solid, less permanent, and less defining. Is there an easy way to do this? Yes. By silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation, we gently induce our cerebral cortex to stop opposing our parasympathetic nervous system and start cooperating with it. And now, together as a team, let's meditate. We come now to the second phase of mindful crease counting. To keep track of our second of 4 collections of our left hand's 8 sets, of our right hand's 12 repetitions. We can advance our right thumb during each inhalation. Over the span of 8 inhalations, our right thumb could advance thusly: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We now multiply this by 8 for a total of 64, counting 8 sets of 8 repetitions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 8 repetitions. We are now on our second collection of 64. To keep track of the second collection, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap so that our thumbs could happily count creases. Now, is this complex? Yes. But repetition really is the mother of skill. Come to these live streams once every 12 hours, and within a week or two, you could master this entire system. Please chant with me. Oh yes, I forgot to mention. As a fringe benefit, our subtle energies could coalesce. Let's try this again. As a fringe benefit, we could gently invite subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Please chant with me. The translucence of the all-good father and mother depicted in paintings reminds us of meditation's impermanence and non-graspability. Now, can I fit the word experience in there? Now that's a very creative way of spelling experience. I'm sure you'd agree. So I'm going to take a moment to edit this so that it fits a little nicer. On second thought, I think that's just fine the way it was. Okay. Let's make sure that it fits on the big screen. Good. Okay. So the late Tulku Thondup explained that mindfulness was simply noticing the antics of mind. The most efficient way, when we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. The late the late Chagdud Tulku explained that meditation was simply relaxing, was so relaxing. And take two. The late Chagdud Tulku explained that meditation was relaxing into mind's nature. When we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we so release what we perceived during our previous inhalation that fleetingly it could feel less solid, less permanent, and even less defining. Come together as a team. Let us meditate right now. One of the great ironies of training in mindfulness is that even if we try to ignore change, it, like Glenn Close's character in Fatal Attraction, it will not be ignored. We cannot help but notice change, and change is the cornerstone of the wisdom of letting go. Change makes of clinging an absurdity. We come now to the third phase of mindful crease counting, wherein we keep track of our third of 4 collections, of our left hands, 8 sets, and our right hands, 8 repetitions. We keep track of this. We can rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger in our lap. Doing so gently invites our subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. Please chant with me. The beauty of Kuntu Zangpo and Kuntu Zangmo Yam Yam reminds us of the highest love, spontaneous and uncontrived. The most efficient way to practice mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. Doing so, we cannot help but vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination, being completely vulnerable to whatever rears its head. The key to meditation is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. Doing so induces us to release what we perceived during our previous inhalation as if it was now fleetingly less solid, less permanent, and less defining. A fringe benefit of the regular practice of mindfulness and meditation is fourfold. Let's explore the second and third folds right now. 2, it tends to calm our anxious and aggressive amygdala. 3, it tends to gently stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, that which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, and consequentially compassion and love. Come together as a team, let us meditate. Oh yes, why is this important? Because 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path pertains to loving kindness. To kindness of intention, kindness of communication, kindness of conduct, and kindness of commerce. Together as a team, let's meditate. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Please do not wait until the end of the live stream. Instead, it's far better for you to strike while the iron is hot. We turn now to our fourth and final phase of mindful crease counting. To keep track of our fourth of 4 collections of our left hand's 8 sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and of our right hand's 8 repetitions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap so that our thumbs could happily count creases. And as such, our subtle energies could coalesce at the crown region of our head. Please chant with me. The stability with which sky blue Samanta Mandra sits, and the abandon with which cloud white Samanta Bandri sports, remind us of the effortless effort, centered spontaneity. Now it looks like, yes, add to dictionary. So, quick review. The most efficient way to practice mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, thus facilitating our awareness of mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination, an awareness that is vulnerable, passive, visceral, random, and fleeting. But what are we to do with all these things that we notice? We are to meditate. And the most efficient way to do that is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. Doing so causes us to release what we perceived during our previous inhalation as if it was fleetingly less solid, less permanent, and even less defining. So the fourth of 3 benefits of regularly training in mindfulness and meditation is the sixthfold, is that our experience of our choices, utterances, and deeds could begin to flow with the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity, not scattered spontaneity, but centered spontaneity. This is the 6th fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path. And this is why we say that the key to the entire path is just mindfulness and meditation. So let us make the most of this evening's final silent meditation. Let us now shift gears from silent meditation to mantra meditation. Let us begin by chanting an explanation of the 12-syllable mantra together. I invoke teachers on loving action, on mindfulness and meditation, as well as the Hungvyu supporting release and the Benzatantric. Guru teaches me my enlightenment and siddhi abilities who may be mastered by all. So it's rather simple. During our inhalations, silently and mentally we recite, relaxing into this. What is this? This is the label we adhere to whatever we notice, whether that which we notice is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. During each exhalation, we physically relax as best we can, while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. Now, if this is your first time hanging out with me or hanging out with me, then by all means, give yourself permission to have a learning curve. The most important thing is not the speed of our mantra recitation or the melodiousness of the chant. The most important thing is to practice vulnerability and relaxation. However, once you get comfortable with this mantra, you might find it useful to keep track of your recitations thusly. Each finger represents 1 breath, and each set of creases represents 1 recitation. Together. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 Om. Oops. Pardon me. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 So, thus far in tonight's practice, we performed the wisdom warm-up, we practiced silent mindfulness, silent meditation, and mantra meditation. We now prepare for the final third, which is compassion's cool down, also known as mantra loving kindness. Why? Because loving kindness comprises 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with the follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these kind words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors for statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. To keep track of our 6th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could gently touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left little finger and rest this left hand upon our left thigh. Doing so, we gently invite our subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. May we be a font of blessing for all upon who we think or who think of us. May all minds of all beings know me as peacefully enlightened as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by a ticle, one syllable, seed or bija mantra, lucid and void. Om Ahum Benzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 Allow me to remind you that the mental morality of kind intention is the second fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. To keep track of our 7th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we can touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left ring finger and then rest this left hand upon our left thigh. Doing so could gently invite our subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our lower abdomen. May we be a font of blessing for all who we listen to, speak to, or speak of, and for all who listen to us, or speak to us, or speak of us. Whoops, that did not work well. Wow, that was just a clusterfuck, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. May all relationships, so speech of all beings know me as joyful and loving as a real or imagined Buddha speech symbolized by a multi-syllabic mantra resounding yet void. Okay, I think this will chant better now. May all minds of all beings know me as peacefully enlightened as the lucid yet void mind of a real or imagined Buddha, symbolized by a tickle one syllable zero bija mantra. So, how can we make this look easier on the eye? All right, let's go back. Let's try this again. Om Mahung Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung 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 Om Mahung Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. Let us now keep track of our 7th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions. Doing so, we could touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left ring finger, resting our left hand upon our left thigh, thus inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. May all relationships, all speech of all beings know be as joyfully loving as a real or imagined Buddha speech resounding in void symbolized by your multisyllabic mantra. So let's make this a little bit prettier. Okay. Om Ahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 The interpersonal morality of kind communication is the third fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. To keep track of this, our eighth of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could gently touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left middle finger, and then rest this left hand upon our left thigh. Doing so could gently invite subtle energies to coalesce at the heart region of our chest. So I have to do a quick edit. Please bear with me. May we be a font of blessing for all who we touch or who touch us. May all bodies or forms of all beings so enjoy the beautiful health represented by Buddha statuary, depicting the blissful body, sensual yet void of a real or imagined yet dominant archetype of enlightenment. Om Ahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 Let us now keep track of our final 9th of 9 collection of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions. Let us keep track of this by gently touching the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left index finger, and then resting our left hand upon our left thigh, thus gently inviting subtle energies to coalesce at the crown of our head. May we be a font of blessing for all who we see or who see us. May all beings everywhere be freed from the tyranny, the cruelty of sexism, racism, Islamophobia, homophobia, exploitation, classism, fascism, jingoism, and genocide. May all circumstances or lots of all beings know. Oopsie, sorry about that. Okay, never mind. May all circumstances or lots of all beings know have the safe fortune or boon. As a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, pure land or vati appearing yet void. So we're going to take all these words and allow them to coalesce into just 6 syllables that we're going to divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. We're going to silently and mentally recite these same 6 syllables during our inhalation. During our exhalation, we're going to physically relax as best we can, while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. Om Ahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 Oh, my fellow geeks, don't panic, for the meaning of life, the universe, and everything is 42. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10.5 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the force be with you always.